shot, goal, Georgia Southern!
For kill once again.
Raymond Johnson, a huge sack in the final minute 40.
D'Angelo with the goal for Georgia Southern.
Eagle Nation, welcome to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. With Colin Lacey, I'm Danny Reed. This week we'll hear from men's basketball head coach Brian Berg in Coach's Corner and take a look at Georgia Southern's next opponent. But in our first segment, brought to you by Optum Orthopedics, it's the annual football matchup in this conference in the state of Georgia, Southern Knott State up in Atlanta. Colin, Georgia Southern had dominated the last 2 years, but it had been a really tumultuous week for Eagle football.
It was one of the most adverse weeks, and talking to some of the coaching staffs throughout the last couple of days, even everything that Georgia Southern football has gone through the last couple of years, this may have been the toughest week, and everybody has talked about it. Since halftime of the Army game, so much this team has had to go through.
Georgia State did take a 3-0 lead after the first of 3 field goals that afternoon from Noel Ruiz before the Eagles put together one of their more interesting drives of 2020. 13 plays, 75 yards, and 5 minutes 59 seconds ended up taking a 7-3 lead on Shai Wertz's 7-yard touchdown run. But Colin, the Eagles converted twice on 3rd down, once on 4th, and 7 different guys touched the football, including the first career touches for Jalen White and Sam Kenderson.
With a lot of guys out for Georgia Southern last week, you knew there were going to have to be some new names that step up. Everybody talks about the next man up mentality, and a lot of guys really answered the bell for Georgia Southern last week.
Logan Wright thundered his way downfield for a 63-yard touchdown run, longest of the season for the redshirt junior, upping the advantage to 14-3. Now, the Eagles did have a chance to make it a 3-score lead following Justin Ellis's forced sack fumble. Raymond Johnson recovered in plus territory, his 6th career fumble recovery, tying the Georgia Southern career record. But ultimately, the Panthers scored the final 10 points of the first half. Still, the Eagles led 14-13 going into the third quarter. And it didn't take long to see that running game get going. First play of the quarter, Logan Wright took off, 56-yard gain into the red zone.
And that was exactly what you wanted for Georgia Southern. After Georgia State had a little bit of the momentum going into the halftime locker room, Georgia Southern getting the ball out of halftime, being able to have an explosive play like that really set Georgia Southern up well.
Alex Rayner chipped in a 29-yard field goal for a 17-13 lead, but nobody else scored in the third quarter as the Eagle defense really stepped up. Raymond Johnson ended up with 5 tackles for loss in the game, most by an Eagle since 2008. On the first play of the fourth quarter, though, it was Logan Wright again, this time from 5 yards out, resulting in a 24-13 lead. Unfortunately, the Panthers owned the rest of the game, outscoring Georgia Southern 17-0 the rest of the way, Eagles committing turnovers on each of their final 2 possessions, and State retook the lead in the series. Final score from Atlanta, Georgia State 30, Georgia Southern 24. Eagles with back-to-back losses for the first time this season, 10 games into the campaign, 6-4 the record, stepping outside of conference play this weekend. We'll talk about that opponent a little bit later on in this week's edition of Blue White Weekly, but when we come back, we talk about the unmistakable symbol of this great university, when Blue White Weekly continues.
It's back, the return of the prestigious Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, honoring college sports excellence across all competitive divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow along with L Directors Cup on Twitter or online to see which schools will be taking home a first-place trophy in June for their season-long success. Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, a premier institutional award jointly launched in 1993 by USA Today and NACDA.
We've been helping families make joy for over 100 years. In America, we're not about to take this year off. So at the Ford Built for the Holiday sales event, get 0% APR financing for 60 months, 90 days payment deferment, and $2,000 trade assist cash on select Ford SUVs and Fusion. That's on top of what your eligible trade is worth. So get the family together, take the scenic route, and make some joy this season. Ford, built for the holidays.
At Georgia Power, our customers are at the center of everything we do. We're investing in technology to increase the resiliency of our power grid, expanding our infrastructure to shorten outage and repair time, and providing a cleaner, more diverse fuel mix with solar and nuclear energy. We're working hard to keep energy at a cost 15% below the national average, while maintaining the highest levels of customer service and satisfaction. With reliable energy, the future is in your hands.
Hi, I'm Paul Newman with Statesboro Real Estate, the broker and owner, also co-owner of PMG Rentals, which is a property management company. As a Georgia Southern graduate in 2005, I got into real estate fresh out of school and was excited to have the opportunity to be the official real estate agent of Georgia Southern Athletics. I would say what sets me apart is the drone and online marketing presence that Statesboro Real Estate has to offer. Statesboro is such a small town and just has a really cool feel to it, and it's neat to see somebody at the grocery store or at the ball fields and know that you've helped them in the past and have the opportunity to continue to help them pursue their dream home. PMG Rentals is a great value adder to Statesboro Real Estate for the fact that if you're a renter, we can show you houses to buy in the future, and also if you're an investor, you can purchase with us and then lean to PMG as your property management for the future. Whether you're looking to buy an investment property, have it professionally managed with PMG Rentals, buying your first home, or buying your dream home, make sure you call Paul.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look into Georgia Southern athletics. Presented by Ford, go further. Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. It represents our university, empowering all Georgia Southern Eagles to soar to their dreams. In this week's edition of a Georgia Southern story presented by Ford, we learn more about freedom, which for all Eagles is the true embodiment of Georgia Southern.
Steve, what does freedom mean to our fans as part of the history of Georgia Southern? What does he mean?
Well, that's a great question. I'll tell you, Art, he has come to be iconic, and not surprising. We are Georgia Southern Eagle Nation, but to actually be one of the few institutions around the country that have a live bald eagle that's present at our football games, graduation, it continues to grow, and it's really a special opportunity to be with Freedom.
Tell me the story around Freedom. How did the Wildlife Center in Georgia Southern University acquire a bald eagle?
Having an eagle here at the campus of Georgia Southern goes all the way back to football. And the Eric Russell years, we had in 1992 or 90, I believe, a bird flew over the stadium. They called it our mascot, except I don't think it was an avid birder. It turned out to be a turkey vulture that flew over the stadium. And the community, the Statesboro community, wanted to right that travesty and approached me, and we were able to put in a request. It took us 13 years to get the right eagle, but that's Freedom.
How do the fans feel about Freedom? What are their reactions when you have a bird of prey in front of them like this?
I think the fans each and every year just increasingly appreciative of the realization that he's a wild animal, and yet he elects to be with us and serves a very vital role. So they're, I think, like everybody, somewhat emotionally moved by the flight of Freedom.
Freedom during game day. He's one of the few bald eagles in the country who does a live flight.
And so we'll do our practice flights, but once the flight's done, and that is kind of kicking off the game, we don't simply return them to the Wildlife Center. We then really do the heavy lifting, which is to go into the crowd and share Freedom, which actually supports the Wildlife Center. It's what we're all about, man and nature together. So I think that's what really distinguishes him from maybe some of the other Eagles, is that we're in the stands, meeting and greeting the fans of Georgia Southern University.
Tell us about the impact on the community, the nation. What impact do we have with it?
Well, you know, that to me, well, there you go. He's telling you. That is, to me, the thing that caught me so flat-footed. I knew it would mean a lot. What I was not prepared for is that the privilege to travel with the football team all over the nation, and wherever we're at, for whatever reason, we're dealing with the national symbol. And it's kind of like something so iconic, being a guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The realization that I'm next to something that means so much to so many. And for that, it's just a privilege I'm eternally thankful for.
When we return from this timeout, we're talking Georgia Southern basketball as Blue White Weekly continues.
What's important now, more than ever, is making sure you are connected. Bullet Solutions is Statesboro's partner in high-speed internet, phone, and smart home technology with residential and commercial solutions. We continue to move forward and are here to get you connected.
Optum Health System's commitment to you has not changed. Unmatched safety and compassionate care. Others may talk about the new normal, but at Optum Health System, we've always provided high-quality, personalized care safely. If you have recently delayed your care, we want to reassure you we are prepared to care for you. Our absolute commitment to safe, high-quality, personalized care is stronger than ever. We welcome you back to Optum Health System.
The great thing about joining the Sun Belt for Georgia Southern was, that opportunity for our guys to go experience bowl games. They're able to fight for a conference championship each and every year, and then have the opportunity to go finish the season off with a bowl victory.
Our team recreated each moment in a way that honors the story and retells the story for many generations to come. From the beginning, we've always just wanted to build something that honored Georgia Southern, and they'll stand the test of time.
Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
At Georgia Power, our customers are at the center of everything we do. We're investing in technology to increase the resiliency of our power grid, expanding our infrastructure to shorten outage and repair time, and providing a cleaner, more diverse fuel mix with solar and nuclear energy. We're working hard to keep energy at a cost 15% below the national average, while maintaining the highest levels of customer service and satisfaction. With reliable energy, the future is in your hands.
What's important now, more than ever, is making sure you are connected. Bullock Solutions is Statesboro's partner in high-speed internet, phone, and smart home technology with residential and commercial solutions. We continue to move forward and are here to get you connected.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look into Georgia Southern athletics. Presented by Ford. Go further. Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. Basketball for this segment, we're talking about men's basketball to start off, wrapping up that two-game homestand 1 week ago inside Hanner Fieldhouse. After that victory on Wednesday over Florida National, the Eagles took on Coastal Georgia for the first time in 4 years. We take a look at those highlights right now. It was the conclusion of a two-game homestand for the Georgia Southern men, hosting Coastal Georgia for the first time since 2016. The Eagles got up to a hot start offensively, making 8 of their first 11 shots, highlighted by Prince Toyambi's acrobatic dunk at the 15-18 mark for a 13-7 lead. Eric Boone's steal and one layup resulted in a 32-23 cushion with 5:53 to play in the first half. But the lead was only 4 points for the Eagles in the final minute before Kamari Brown's three beat the buzzer from the left wing and gave Georgia Southern a 46-39 edge going into the half. The Eagles put together a 14-0 run to build a 69-45 lead with 13:53 to play, thanks to 6 points each from Brown and Caden Archie. Another exclamation point came from Brown on an emphatic rising dunk with 10:44 left for a 76-56 score. Even though Coastal Georgia whittled the deficit down in the final minutes, Eagles shot 60% from the field and had 7 in double figures. Final score, Georgia Southern 91, Coastal Georgia 79. So Georgia Southern men's basketball 2-0 for the third time in 4 years. As of now, the plan is to play at Davidson next Friday up at Belk Arena. Meanwhile, for Georgia Southern women, Colin, they were just in action at Hanner a couple of days ago.
You got the home portion of the schedule started against the Furman Paladins after starting 1-1 both on the road to open up the 2020 season. And we take a look at the highlights for Georgia Southern against the Paladins of Furman.
Georgia Southern women's basketball opens up the 2020 home campaign inside Hanner Fieldhouse against the Furman Paladins back on Thursday evening. Back and forth game for much of the affair, as in the first quarter, Georgia Southern on a 6-0 run with 3 minutes to play in the first quarter, but Furman would score the final 6 points to give them a 20-19 edge at the end of the first period. Thanks in part to Tate Walters for the Paladins, hit 12 points of the 20 that they would score in the quarter. Georgia Southern would take back the lead just before halftime as Maya Burns hits a pair of free throws with half half a second left in the first half to take a 32-30 lead at the break. But the second half, Furman got hot late, especially from three, as Walters would do more of the same with a big three to close out the third quarter and give the Paladins the lead 47-46 through three quarters. And then Furman would put it away in the fourth quarter, outscoring Georgia Southern 26-12, thanks in part to three big threes by the Paladins, as Furman would take the 73-58 victory over Georgia Southern. Itiana Galden would finish with 10 points on the ball game, leading Georgia Southern. Tate Walters finishes with 25 in just the second game of her collegiate career, and again, Georgia Southern would fall to the Paladins 73-58 on Thursday.
Home opener in the books for Georgia Southern women's basketball. Another home game coming up next Saturday as Georgia Southern takes on the Coastal Georgia Mariners. It'll be a 12 noon tip-off inside Hanner Fieldhouse, and that'll lead into the 6 o'clock kickoff for Georgia Southern and Appalachian State. We'll continue with more Blue White Weekly as we visit with head coach Brian Berg for Georgia Southern men's basketball right after this.
Are you suffering from hip or knee pain? Don't let the pain hold you back. The region's most experienced robotic joint replacement team at Optum Health System offers an individually tailored approach that is more precise and creates smaller incisions. For you, that can mean a faster recovery with less pain. Your comeback starts here. Call today to find out if robotic-assisted joint replacement is right for you.
The great thing about joining the Sun Belt for Georgia Southern was, that opportunity for our guys to go experience bowl games. They're able to fight for a conference championship each and every year, and then have the opportunity to go finish the season off with a bowl victory.
Our team recreated each moment in a way that honors the story and retells the story for many generations to come. From the beginning, we've always just wanted to build something that honored Georgia Southern, and they'll stand the test of time.
We've been helping families make joy for over 100 years. In America, we're not about to take this year off. So at the Ford Built for the Holiday sales event, get 0% APR financing for 60 months, 90 days payment deferment, and $2,000 trade assist cash on select Ford SUVs and Fusion. That's on top of what your eligible trade is worth. So get the family together, take the scenic route, and make some joy this season. Ford, built for the holidays.
At Georgia Power, our customers are at the center of everything we do. We're investing in technology to increase the resiliency of our power grid, expanding our infrastructure to shorten outage and repair time, and providing a cleaner, more diverse fuel mix with solar and nuclear energy. We're working hard to keep energy at a cost 15% below the national average, while maintaining the highest levels of customer service and satisfaction. With reliable energy, the future is in your hands.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look into Georgia Southern athletics. Presented by Ford, go further. Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Welcome back into this week's edition of Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. Back in Hanner Fieldhouse for this week's edition of Coach's Corner as we sit down with head coach Brian Berg for Georgia Southern men's basketball. Coach, take us through what the first 6-7 months that you've been in Statesboro have been like.
Well, it's been an exciting time for us. Immediately hit the ground running, had to put together a great staff, and I think it hit a home run with the staff that we put together. Chris Shoemate, Sean Forrest, Tim McAllister, these are elite level coaches, and truly excited about them being here in Statesboro. Immediately when we got here, April 1st, name of the game is recruiting, and we had to put together an entire roster. We have 18 student athletes that I'm extremely excited about.
You've mentioned it a couple of times how becoming a Division I head coach has been a dream for you. Have you given yourself time to reflect now that that dream has become reality?
Well, I think I had a chance to reflect, but there's a lot of work at hand, and it's been nonstop, putting in long days, long hours, but that's the way that I was raised, and that's the way I'm excited to, be here in Statesboro, getting a chance to be the head coach here at Georgia Southern, and get the season started.
You mentioned 9 new players, but you've talked about it a lot, how you had to recruit all 18 on your roster. With the returners, what was that recruiting process like?
One is just building relationship. You're spending countless hours trying to build relationships with the players, and there is 9 newcomers, but I think there's 18 newcomers. A brand new staff, brand new offense, brand new defense, and then implementing our culture. So it's the one key pillar in our program is relationships. And that's just not myself, that's also our entire staff, building relationships with all the 18 student athletes.
One of the big keys that you talk about a lot in this program is the process. Take us through what the process looks like for Georgia Southern men's basketball and why it's so important.
Well, we focus on the process rather than actually focusing on winning games and winning championships. We believe that, hey, if you implement the process on a day-to-day basis, you're going to end up having success. So each day we want guys to eat the right food. We want to have 3-4 meals in their body. Then we want to end up getting in and having an individual workout in on the court with a coaching staff member. After that, we want to end up going to the training room, get a chance to have recovery with a great athletic trainer. Also want to go to the weight room. In my opinion, work with the greatest strength coach in the country, Brandon Lee. And after that, you come in, you watch film. 3 times per week, we want you to watch film. On top of that, we're going to end up having team practice. You only have a handful of team practices throughout the year, so you got to embrace team practice. And then come back at night. And then we want you to shoot your 300 shots. And then last but not least, have a little bit of balance. You need to have a little bit of balance. But that balance can't outweigh everything else that's involved in the process.
Both on and off the court, what do you want this Georgia Southern men's basketball program to be known for?
Discipline, toughness, and then every day we show up, we want to have a chip on our shoulder.
What's some of the expectations that you and the staff have for this team?
To play together, play unselfish, and then compete. The toughest team always wins. And we want to compete on a day-to-day basis. We want to play unselfish, play for the guy next to us. And if we're able to do that, we're going to end up having success.
Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck this year.
Thanks so much.
Once again, that's head coach Brian Berg for Georgia Southern men's basketball. We'll continue with more Blue White Weekly right after this.
This is it. This is the day we work for. All the months of preparation, all the hard work. Blue collar, discipline, toughness. That is what has led to this moment. There are people out there that tell you you can't do it. But what do we say to that? G-A-T-A! They will tell you you're not fast enough. They'll tell you you're not strong enough. But what do we say to that? G-A-T-A! They will tell you you can't have it, you don't deserve it. But what do we say to that? Get after those assets.
So you'd like to open a checking account today?
As a farmer, half measures never measure up. You put in late nights and early mornings. There will be new challenges. So you adapt, learn, and endure. As a farmer, you put a part of you in everything you do, in what you plant, what you raise, and what you build. Case IH, built by farmers.
We've been helping families make joy for over 100 years. In America, we're not about to take this year off. So at the Ford Built for the Holiday sales event, get 0% APR financing for 60 months, 90 days payment deferment, and $2,000 trade assist cash on select Ford SUVs and Fusion. That's on top of what your eligible trade is worth. So get the family together, take the scenic route, and make some joy this season. Ford, Built for the Holidays.
Greetings from Vive Country, your new crazy fast neighbor, now in 16 states. We're thrilled to be your home and business internet, phone, and TV provider. From cutting-edge technology to excuse-free customer service, we're committed to our local communities. We've been working non-stop upgrading and enhancing our fiber-based network that delivers speeds up to 5 gig internet. We believe in faster speeds, community involvement, and 100% customer satisfaction. Join Vive Country today at vivebroadband.com.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look into Georgia Southern athletics. Presented by Ford, Go Further. Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. It's the start of the final homestand of the regular season for Eagle football at Paulson Stadium in just a couple of hours. We're going to try it again with Florida Atlantic. That game was postponed because of COVID back on September the 19th, but in this segment brought to you by Georgia Power, we now take an opportunity to preview the 5-1 Owls led by first-year head coach Willie Taggart. Offensively, it's a Gulf Coast scheme. It's out of the shotgun with a lot of pulling guards, a lot of multiple looks, and a lot of gap scheme, which is different from what Georgia Southern sees from opposing offenses out of the shotgun and pistol for the majority of the 2020 season. But we've got to start out with that defense, a 3-4 unit led by former South Florida head coach Jim Leavitt, second in the country in both points per game allowed and red zone defense.
Yeah, and in 6 games so far in the 2020 season, they've only allowed 6 touchdowns. And it doesn't matter who you're playing. When you only allow 6 touchdowns on the season, that's a pretty good stat for this defense.
Leighton McCarthy is somebody that moved from defensive end to outside linebacker for his final campaign. In his debut in that position earlier this season against Charlotte, not too shabby. 10 tackles, 4 for loss, 3 sacks as he was named Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week. He leads Conference USA with 8 sacks coming into this matchup. But for that Owl offense, quarterback has been a position that's had some turnover. Earlier this year, we talked about Nick Tronti trying to take the snaps, the one-time Indiana Hoosier, and incidentally a one-time Georgia Southern recruit. But now it's redshirt freshman Javion Posey, a former wide receiver who has gone back to the quarterback position. He is one of the most dynamic guys with the football that you'll see play QB.
And even though he's got a lot of weapons around him in that offensive scheme for the Owls, he's a guy that more often than not, when he gets the ball in his hands, he's going to keep it in his hands. More yards than anybody on that team for Florida Atlantic, and being able to do what he does with the football is pretty impressive.
Yeah, against FIU in his first career start a few weeks ago in the Shula Bowl, 182 yards rushing on 18 carries. He set the Owl QB rushing record. And then a few weeks back against UMass, a 70-yard touchdown run, which helped put that game out of reach. But a week ago, they were scheduled to play Middle Tennessee in Conference USA play. In fact, they were ready to travel as late as Friday evening. But word coming out of Murfreesboro, they had COVID issues. They would have been without 33 guys for that game. So technically, Florida Atlantic is off a bye week, but they haven't exactly had the extra time to prepare for Georgia Southern. They've just got to go off of what they were trying to get ready for back in late September.
And it's a very similar situation that FAU put Georgia Southern in the second game of the season. It was Friday morning when FAU had deemed they were COVID concerned and not coming to Statesboro, and a late turnaround for Georgia Southern, but similar situation that FAU is in now.
First career matchup between the Eagles and the Owls. Remember, this is the start of a home and home. The Eagles are scheduled in 2021 to go down to Boca Raton, so it would be nice for Georgia Southern to also increase their non-conference home winning streak, currently at 26 consecutive games dating back to 2006.
Yeah, and at this point in the season, when Georgia Southern thought the regular season was going to be finished with that game up in Atlanta when the schedule first came out, now you've got 2 more home games to experience the power of Paulson.
Give it the old college try one more time. Georgia Southern and FAU. It's a 6 o'clock kick. We're live at 4 on the Georgia Southern Sports Network with Eagle Tailgate. You can watch, of course, on ESPN+. Thanks, as always, to the fine folks of the Multimedia Development Center. For Colin Lacey, this is Danny Reed. We'll talk to you next week on Blue White Weekly.